Welcome, dear viewers. We have a very distinguished guest with us today. We have Mahir Aiman, youth leader. Welcome today with us, Mahir, to our show, Hala Kuwait. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. It is a very honoring moment for me. I'm very proud of this moment. Being invited on such a platform is really great for me.
Of course, it's our pleasure. So, for people who are seeing you for the first time, Mahir, who is Mahir Aiman?
For the people who have not known me for the past years of my life, I may be just a young student, but I calibrate myself as a leader because even at the educational institution that I study at, I am a portion of the topmost positions in that council, and I take that responsibility. I put that responsibility heavier on me because there are juniors and there are students that look up to me if they do want some changes. Other than that, I feel that I am a diplomatic person, both in a good way and a bad way, as you can define it. But diplomatic in the sense, if I may sit down with you somewhere, I'll end up talking about some or the other environmental issue or some or the other human right related topic. So I am a really extroverted young student in Kuwait.
That's amazing. That really shows. And so you are an author, you are a debater, and more than that. Where do you see yourself the most out of all of these?
I see myself most at the position of a diplomat.
Right.
If working in my said occupation in the future helps any people around the world or helps any communities around the world, I feel that I would be blessed. So I see myself working in the diplomatic fields in the future, or at least I hope so. I will be able to do so. More than that, I aspire to be a human rights lawyer, and if Allah wills, I want to represent my nation to the UN so that I have a say into the policies that are created too, and I can benefit people in the need of help and dialogue.
Those are amazing ambitions. I wish you all the best of luck. Also, on top of all of this, you have diplomas from the United Nations. Tell us more about it.
The courses that I had selected, my main goal was not having that diploma on my wall as an achievement. The main motive for me was to learn something that is not particularly in my curriculum. I have interest in environmental law, especially because I wanted to analyze why policies are created internationally, but yet our world sees so much environmental issues. Whatever community, however much developed it may be, environmental issues have persisted to stay throughout the past few decades. And learning has brought very valuable knowledge to me. One of the most interesting portions were actually environmental assessment. There is a name for it which I cannot recall right now, but it is basically when a government or a company decides to unveil a new project, a big project. One of their decision-making tasks is also to analyze what all damage it does to environment around it, to the environment around it. And I feel that is really amazing, especially because of the fact that it changes the question from how do we fix the damage to how do we prevent the damage.
Right. Are you talking about this international standards that they use for health and safety, for example, and environmental factors as well? Yes. Yeah, I must say, it's a very interesting and very, I must say, I feel proud to see that there's the youth of today, they have such great ambitions and in the right places. So moving on to the next question, how did you manage to balance your schoolwork, the UN courses, and writing 2 books on top of that?
I feel I would correct you there. It wasn't always balanced. there was imbalance, of course. My usual routine would be I come from school and then I sit down, and if there is any duties as a leader there, I sit down to complete those. Then my academics, and then comes any other project or courses that I may be running. The most important part for me was to teach myself discipline. I used to keep a target in my mind. Okay, today I will finish one chapter of my book, and I'll finish one chapter from the course. And there was no teacher who was going to sit there and be like, have you completed your goal or checked it? So learning that self-discipline was really hard for me, and the process of learning it was very much imbalanced, because some days you just don't feel like doing it. So, you know, I just want to sleep in, or I want to watch something on the TV.
Yeah. I mean, you are very young after all, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that mindset of, okay, I want to go out with my friends today. So there were days where I skipped my target, but I have, you know, wired my mentality to, you know, I don't feel peace until I have completed a target that I had set earlier that day.
Right, yeah, yeah. Okay, very interesting. Did you experience a writer's block? And if so, how did you overcome it?
Yes, I did experience that. And I feel, you know, every author experiences that some or the other point of their life. Overcoming it, I took the process of, so if I'm writing a chapter right now, and, you know, I can't come up with anything properly, I'll just write whatever idea is there in my mind down on the page, even if it's messy, because the next day when I sit to edit it, I can edit something that is messy, but I can't edit an empty page.
Right.
So it is better for me to write down that messy portion of it than not writing at all. And, you know, that helped me balance it out. So days I was feeling creative or productive, I could do both of them together, I could edit it. But the days that I was not feeling it, I could skip it that day, just write it down in a random order. I could skip it that day. So it really helped me balance out that, you know, inconsistencies.
Right, okay. And having so much on your plate at just 17 years old, did you ever doubt yourself at any moment?
I feel that any young person who's stepping out of their comfort zone, some or the other day they're going to feel, am I good enough? Or, you know, do I have the authority of, you know, doing what I'm doing? And especially for me, because my interest had been in diplomacy, and there were people who were passing comments as such, who are you to, you know, speak about it? So at those moments, I did feel that concern, and I did feel that confusion. And the biggest portion was when I was about to finish my book, and I had read through it, and I felt something was incomplete there, and it was not good enough. And after speaking to a few of my friends, really supportive by the way, few of my friends, they told me that, see, this is your first book, no matter how much you do, maybe a year later, maybe 2 years later, you are going to notice some places which could be better. That's just part of life. As you publish more and more books, it gets more perfect. So having that goal in mind really helped me, you know, come out of it, come out of that, you know, concern for yourself. And at the end of the day, I had chosen this myself for myself. So that also helped me, you know, come out of that concern for yourself.
Okay, so we will continue this discussion. We'll just take a short break right now. We'll see this amazing report that's upcoming, so stay tuned and we'll be back. Welcome back, dear viewers, after that break and that amazing report. We are back to discuss with Mahir over here. Mahir, when did you start debating specifically?
I began debating when I think I was 13 or 14. And it began with, you know, silly arguments with my classmates. So basically when we would get free time during school, maybe the class is delayed, we would sit and we would bring out a topic, and I would explain my perspective and why I feel it is correct or it is wrong. And that's when, you know, at that time I didn't know what is debate. I just thought I liked arguing, right? And there were comments like, why are you arguing? That is a bad habit, and you're going to seem disrespectful to others. But then as time went past, I realized that there exists something known as a debate. And that is when my interest sparked for it. However, I ended up not debating until I was 15 because I went into Model United Nations conferences. So debate was not readily available in my life by then. And when I was 15, I did my first debate, which was a class debate. And then it just continued from there, and I received multiple awards for it.
That's amazing. And Mahir, if you could speak to young adults out there who would want to take a step forward but are hesitant, what would you like to tell them?
The first thing that I would say is that do not wait till your mind says that you're perfectly ready. And the main reason why I say that is because people keep waiting and waiting. But your body is never going to tell you that, yes, we are perfectly ready for this. You have to push it a bit. And the second thing is that do not make yourself wait for validation. I have seen people who get affected when they do not get that recognition. Even for me personally, achieving these things were not for the greed of fame or recognition or validation. It was rather to satisfy what my passion was leading me into. And I feel there's a whole world out there that does not stop to say good job when you achieve something, and which is missing in the younger people of my generation. And I feel that they need to really work on it. You should learn to flourish even when someone does not say good job or I'm proud of you. You should be your closest supporter.
Mahir, how does it feel to win a debate?
Of course, it's satisfying. The preparation that goes into it, and for a debate when I prepare, the whole week before the debate actually starts, I will be tensed because in a debate when you're preparing, there are always certain aspects that you forget to go through or forget to prepare for. And it's very, it's a very nervous thing for a person, especially because growing up, I was a very big introvert. Until date, sometimes at some portion, that side peaks out. So that's when I feel nervous specifically. And when you come out of the stage, your mind plays games with you that, okay, you were not good enough, you're not winning anything. And I remember my biggest win in a debate, when I came down the stage, I told my teacher, why don't we just leave? Because I know I am not winning anything today. And I was already calling my elder sister that, hey, I'm not winning anything. It did not go well. And then there was a gap of, I think, around 4 hours something for the actual announcement. And then at the announcement, I ended up receiving the Best Performers Award. So that was really a shock for me. But considering that portion of it, I feel that I learn more when I lose a debate. And till date, I have only lost 1 debate.
Wow, mashallah.
So that taught me more about aspects which I need to focus more on. And it also taught me, it actually showed me where I lacked a lot. So I think losing a debate is much better if you are pursuing it for educational value, and winning, of course, it's satisfying for anyone.
Yeah, of course. And so one thing you think, or what was something that as a 17-year-old you had to trade to pursue your goals?
I have had to trade the the spontaneity that a teenager holds. For a normal teenager, we get back home and then we decide, okay, I want to watch this, or I want to play this game, or I want to go here today. But for me, since I have chosen this path for myself, it has become harder for me because once I come home, there is always a deadline waiting for me. Okay, I have to get this done, I have to get that done. And which led me into being conscious about time throughout the day. Continuously, my mind will be, repeating the same line. Is this worth your time? And that portion of it has taught me that, being busy doesn't necessarily mean that you are productive.
Exactly.
You need to know what your time is worth. So, but then again, I feel that it is not a sacrifice, because I chose this path for myself, and if I'm able to follow my passion for doing something great and creating a positive impact, I feel then I'm the happiest person in that equation.
That's amazing. And all the best for your future endeavors, Mahir. Honestly, you have such amazing achievements and accomplishments, mashallah. So that's our distinguished guest for today, Mahir Aiman, a youth leader. And let's take a look at this report, and we'll be right back.